This is the homework for 749, 51, 53, and 54. In 745, you need to compare the graphs of line A, B, and C. In A, you need to determine which line has the greatest slope and justify your answer. Well, just looking at the graph, you can determine that line A has the greatest slope just by looking at the steepness of the line. So think of a ski slope. The steeper the ski slope is, the faster you're going to go down that slope. And C and B are not as steep as A. The other way to determine it is to look at the slope of the line and compare. So this has a slope of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. C is going up 2 over 5. So 5 halves is much greater than 2/5. In B, what is the y value of line A when x equals 2? So if we look at line A, the purple line, and if x equals 2, y would equal 5. In problem C, compare the slopes of line B and C. So here's line B and here's line C. The slope of line C, again, is rise 2 and run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 over 5. Line B, rise 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, run 5. This is also 2 over 5. So line B and C both have the same slope or rate of change. So anytime two lines have the same rate of change or slope, you would say that those two lines are parallel. So lines B and C are equal to each other, same slope. In problem 751, if a car is parked on the side of the road and not moving, what is its speed? And what would it look like on a graph of time and distance? Well, the speed of a parked car would be 0. And it would look like a horizontal line on a graph of time and distance. So here we have time. As time increases and the distance increases, well, if you're not going anywhere, you're not going further away from your starting point or closer to your starting point, then it's going to be a horizontal line. In problem 753, the number of students attending the fall play was 150 fewer than 3 times the number of adults. So we have students and adults, and then together they purchased 1,778 tickets. So I have students plus adults equals the total number of tickets. Here we have the total number of students was 150 fewer than 3 times the number of adults. So we have 3 times the adults, but 150 fewer than that. So we're going to subtract that. Then we have the adults equals the total. Now we can combine like terms. 3a plus a equals 4a. And then inverse property of subtraction is addition. So we're going to add 150 to both sides. This created a 0 pair. 4a equals 1,929. Inverse property of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 4, which creates the giant 1. What you do to one side, you do to the other. And you get a equals 482. So the question's asking us how many students attended the fall. Well, we found out how many adults, but remember, the number of students is 3 times the number of adults, but 150 fewer than that. So 150 fewer than 3 times the adults. So if we know adults is 482, we can plug it into A. Now we multiply. Then we have 1,446 minus 150 equals 1,296. So 1,296 students attended the fall play. In 754, you have 2 similar figures, and you have to solve for x and y. We have a small figure and a big figure. And since we know that they are similar figures, we can set them up as proportional relationships using the corresponding sides. So if we're going to solve for y, its corresponding side is 15, small to big. And I can use any 2 other corresponding sides that have given values. So I'm going to use 12, and its corresponding side is 20. So small to big, y over 15, and 12 over 20. Now I'm going to cross multiply. Y multiplied by 20 is 20y. 15 multiplied by 12 is 180. 20y is multiplication. Inverse property multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 20. That gives us the giant 1. 180 divided by 20 is 9. So y equals 9. Now I'm going to solve for x. And I'm going to use its corresponding sign, 9 and x. And I can set it up as a proportional relationship using any other 2 corresponding sides that have the given values. So I can use 6 and 10, 12 and 20, or now that we know that y equals 9, I could do 9 and 15. I'm going to choose the 2 values that I had chosen previously to find y, 12 and 20. So I have 9 to x, small to big, 9 over x, and 12 over 20. Now I cross multiply. 9 multiplied by 20 and 12 multiplied by x. I get 12x equals 180. Divide both sides by 12. Inverse property of multiplication. Created the giant 1. So now we have 180 divided by 12, which equals 15. So x equals 15.